Heel turns are nothing new in the world of wrestling, but a crazy one happened recently with John Cena. And I've seen a lot of people compare it to the Hulk Hogan heel turn when they formed the New World Order. But I think that is an incorrect comparison. I think the more correct comparison would be the Stone Cold Steve Austin turn when he joined Vince McMahon. Now, you might be wondering, why would you think that? These are two massive heel turns. Why wouldn't we compare it to the Hogan one? And here's why. The Hulk Hogan heel turn, while it has the same lasting effects that the John Cena one does, at the time, Hulk Hogan was a hero to many. He was an icon, someone you could look up to and model your life after, hopefully. Now, not so much, right? Hogan is not the man we all thought he was, not the greatest guy, and his recent actions have displayed that pretty well. But during that time, he was on Wheaties boxes. He was all over TV and movies as the good guy. And so the Americans, even non-wrestling fans, could look at Hulk Hogan and know that he was the hero of every story that he was in. And for him to turn and it be all on his own thought, how he felt when he walked out to the ring, and for it to be all on his own and nobody really know, is kind of crazy. In this new day of information, it's not as easy to hide those things. But back when Hogan turned, it was very easy to hide. But still nobody knew what was going on because it was a game time decision. Even the people in the ring didn't really know what was going to happen. I think that's why that was such a monumental turn. We all thought that Hogan was coming out to help Sting and Luger, and he joined the Outsiders. So that's where that big feeling comes from, is we got swerved very, very hard with the Hogan turn. Now with this Rock turn, we knew somebody was going to turn. We didn't think it was going to be John Cena, but this is why it closer aligns with the Stone Cold Steve Austin turn. He is joining an authority member for, bigger opportunities and greater chances. After Stone Cold joined Vince McMahon, he had championship opportunity after championship opportunity and was in all the biggest matches that the company could offer, along with Triple H and anybody else Vince McMahon thought should be there. This is what we're getting with The Rock. The Rock is in the point of position where he can change the outlook of the entire company if he doesn't like something. We know that. He's made that very apparent. And John Cena joining with him, who, John Cena is John Cena. If he wants it, he probably could have it without The Rock's influence. John Cena joins along with The Rock to get these opportunities, to break the records, and to prolong his own personal story. That's what we're seeing. We're not seeing what we saw with Hogan. With Hogan, there was backlash from friends. Hulk got, government name dropped on live TV in an interview, asking what was he thinking? What was he doing? We aren't going to see that out of John Cena. We didn't see that out of Stone Cold. We didn't see that out of Seth Rollins when they went a similar route with him. I think this heel turn is one of those larger than life moments that we will all remember forever. Just like Stone Cold turning and joining Vince McMahon, just like Seth Rollins turning on the Shield and joining Triple H and the Authority. But this is not the same thing as the Hulk Hogan heel turn. The Hulk Hogan heel turn changed the entire landscape of entertainment. Hulk Hogan was no longer a hero in movies that he was in. Hulk Hogan was no longer someone to look up to, someone that people could point to and say, be like that guy. You can still sort of do that with John Cena. You could still sort of do that with Stone Cold if you wanted to. I don't think he ever exemplified like a role model, right? But if you really wanted to, you could still point at Stone Cold and say, you should be like that guy. Seth Rollins, you could still point at him and say, you should be like that guy. Hulk Hogan, you would point at him and say, don't ever do what he did. This is the difference. Hulk Hogan turned and changed more than just the card for the next night of wrestling, or changed the card for whatever was coming up in the future. Hulk Hogan turned and changed entertainment, which is why this is so much bigger. We won't see John Cena be a bad guy in a movie outside of Fast and Furious, probably that's it. Usually he's, fun, lovable character. We probably won't see him be a villain in anything. Seth Rollins doesn't have any acting credits, and Stone Cold Steve Austin has even less, because Seth Rollins was supposed to be in the new Captain America movie and his scenes got scrapped, I'm assuming. But Hogan was a bigger star in the world, I would say, than John Cena, Seth Rollins, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, sure, they were very popular. People knew who they were, but Hulk Hogan, you could find just about anywhere. He branded and marketed himself as a hero for years and years and years, and was on TV, he was on movies. The Rock's been a good guy and a bad guy in, different movies. And so you're not really sure where he lands on that spectrum. Hulk Hogan was a good guy in literally everything. He was the model of good. He was the superhero. He was Mr. America. John Cena never quite made it to that accolade. Now, John Cena has had an incredible career, and he has done some amazing things, and he has done great for charities and all sorts of just really, really good things. John Cena is a great person. He is a very, 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 very good person. And I think it'll be hard for us to look past that at this point. We'll see his heel turn as more of a business decision than a lifestyle change. The Hogan heel turn was a lifestyle change. The Stone Cold Steve Austin turn was in the middle of a lifestyle and just a business change. The Seth Rollins one was more of just a business change, just like this John Cena one. There is a massive, massive, massive difference between these four turns, three of them being very similar, and I think attempting what the Hogan heel turn did, but they hadn't reached the star power yet that Hogan had at the time that he turned. Hulk Hogan was a household name for people that didn't watch wrestling, that didn't know what the WWE was, didn't care about wrestling at all. John Cena is on that same track, but this won't do anything for his career or in the future. It won't have the same impact that the Hogan one did, which I think is very interesting, because arguably John Cena might be a bigger star than Hulk Hogan ever was, but it will not have the same lasting impact that the Hulk Hogan turn will. And that's why I think it's closer related to the Stone Cold Steve Austin and the Seth Rollins heel turn. But if you think differently, let me know in the comments. More than willing to hear a different opinion about this, but I truly believe that the Hulk Hogan heel turn is in its own category. It's in its own span of heel turns. There's nothing like it. Nothing has ever been done like it, and nothing will ever be done like it again. That's probably a good thing. Could be a bad thing, but I think it might be a good thing. But they've done this heel turn before. It's not anything truly new. Now the story that follows is different every time, but the turn itself they have done before, and we all got swerved thinking it was going to be Cody, and it was John Cena. And that's the big shocker. It's because we never thought John Cena would turn heel. So that's the only comparison you can make between this one and the Hulk Hogan one. The John Cena, the Seth Rollins, and the Stone Cold Steve Austin ones, you could make the argument that you didn't think they would ever turn heel. Because Seth Rollins was still very early in his career with the WWE, and Stone Cold Steve Austin, while being a face, still acted very much like a heel. So it was pretty easy, transition. He just changed who he was aligned with. So that's why this is different, and that's why it's not comparable to the Hulk Hogan heel turn. But, if you have a different opinion, let me know in the comments. I'll read it and maybe make a response video if there's enough of it. But for now, that'll be it, and I will catch you in the next one.